Hi, I'm Raphael Kushner. Welcome to part 1 of my 4-part mini course, The Hidden Power of Emotions. Emotions are at the center of every life endeavor. We're either running toward them or running away from them. And in environments where emotions are discouraged or denied, they only end up running the show ever more powerfully behind the scenes. In this course, I'm going to share with you a new way of looking at and working with your emotions that has the potential to truly change your life, to bring you more peace, ease, freedom, success, and joy than you've ever experienced before. For those of you who don't know about me and my work, I encourage you after this video to visit my website, Kushner.com. That's Kushnir.com. There you can learn about my personal story, my 2 articles for the Oprah magazine, my 6 books about emotions, and much more. But first, a guy walks into a bookstore. He says to the clerk, "Can you please direct me to the self-help section?" The clerk says, "Well, I could, but wouldn't that defeat the purpose?" Now, the reason I start with that joke is because when it comes to your life and your emotions, you're the only expert. I'm coming to you today as a fellow traveler, and I'm going to share with you principles and practices that have worked for me and the thousands of people that I've shared them with around the world. But I hope you don't believe a word I say. Instead, I encourage you to check this all out in the laboratory of your own life. If it works, great. If it doesn't, of course, you'll set it aside. But my favorite result would be that you would take what works here and customize it for you in your own situation. Now, your time is super valuable, so I'm going to respect that and be brief and get right to the point. The first part of this course is called, If You Don't Know How to Feel, You're Lost. I named it that in honor of Phineas Gage, who is a classic case study in the field of neuroscience research. Phineas Gage was happy and healthy, and then one day on the railroad tracks, a spike went through his brain. He survived, and his neocortex was intact. So he could think reasonably and clearly and rationally about everything in his life. However, he lost all ability to feel his emotions. And as a result, no matter how much he reasoned and thought about what to do in his life, he had no way to make a decision. He was lost. And when that tells us about emotions, is that they are the inner compass that allows us to know how to respond to situations that arise in our lives, how to navigate through them in a way that is the most beneficial and meaningful for us. That's the purpose of emotion. Now, in my workshops around the world, I usually start with this survey question. I say to people, raise your hand if, when you were growing up, in your family, you got a great education in how to recognize, honor, and experience your emotions. Well, almost no hands go up. Most people chuckle, because in fact, it's not really a serious survey. For most of us, we didn't get that. We didn't learn some of the most important life skills around emotional awareness and emotional connection that we need to prosper in our lives. That's where we start. And therefore, most of us spend years, decades in workshops, counseling, reading books to try to make up for what we didn't get. We're going to do a big piece of that right here, right now, because I'm going to share with you a really important working definition of emotion. An emotion is a message from your mind delivered to your body as a physical sensation. Now I'm going to go through that with you piece by piece because all of it is important. I started out by saying it's a message from your mind. I didn't say brain. And that's because the sum total of our intelligence, we now know, is distributed throughout our physical body. You have heart intelligence. You have gut feeling. So our mind includes our brain, but isn't limited by it. So an emotion is a message from your mind. The next part is that it's delivered to your physical body. Emotions are physical. The only place that you will ever notice the arising, the shifting about, and ultimately the dissipating of an emotion is in your physical body. So, if you want to be a successful emotional connector, you need to take the elevator downstairs, so to speak, from your brain and your thoughts, where most of us are the most comfortable, into your physical body, which can often be a new and somewhat disorienting experience at first. So, you may be wondering, is this true? Does this definition apply to me? So I encourage you to do a couple of experiments with me. And you can pause this video to do them and then come back and we'll continue wherever it is best for you. But first, I want you to think of a happy subject. It could be a memory, it could be something going on right now. But just pick something that brings a lot of joy to you. Now, how do you know that you're feeling joyful? The answer is you feel it in your body. Maybe your heart warmed a little bit, or there was a good feeling in your belly, or maybe just a smile around your eyes, or maybe you even did smile. So that's experiment number one. Let's try another one. Think of something that really frustrates you or makes you angry. Could be something old, something happening right now, but choose something with some power in your life. Now, are you feeling a little bit frustrated? Are you feeling a little bit angry? How do you know? The only way to know how you feel is to notice what's going on in your body. Maybe your shoulders are tensed. Maybe there's some pressure at your temples. But take a moment, again, pause the video if you need to notice how you actually register your frustration or your anger. I want to share one more thing about the body, because it's so important in all of the pieces that we're looking at here. I want you to get into a position for you that is reflective of ease and expansion. Maybe your arms are outstretched. Maybe you just reach them towards the sky. But whatever that position looks like for you, get all the way into it so that you feel good and relaxed and open. And now focus on that same thing that caused you to feel frustrated or angry and see what happens. If you're like most of us, you don't really feel it in the same way. When your body is in a full and open and connected, relaxed posture, you feel a little bit of that, or a lot. Now let's try it the other way. Get into a position that for you is reflective of anger or frustration. Maybe you ball your fists or hunker down a little bit. And once you're there, you can feel that kind of constriction, the tightness. See if you can focus on that happy thought from earlier. Notice what happens. Again, if you're like most of us, it's really hard to feel good when your body is in that position. I'm really glad we had a chance to do these physical exercises because it helps bring your attention to your body and helps you really know for yourself that emotions are physical and that when we're doing emotional work, we're in our physical bodies. Now, in our next video, I'm going to talk to you about what happens when feelings go right and then what happens especially when they go wrong. In that video, I'm also going to reveal to you the underlying cause of all negative life patterns. Also, by the way, at the end of all 4 of our videos, I'm going to share with you a special premium that is available to you, absolutely free, just for taking the journey with me. So I want to thank you for joining me for part 1, and I look forward to seeing you soon for part 2.